Thanks, the golden leader of the coffee-like smooth reward. Thanks, book friend 201903111034391333s 9600 points reward. Thanks, 3000 points for the scholar's habit. Thanks, 2600 points reward for Ziyuhan. Thanks, people reward 2000 points under the phoenix tree. Thanks, Chi Feelins 2000 point reward. Thanks, 1500 points reward for Ziyai Lai who likes to read. Thanks, Uzingchen 600 point reward. Thanks, 700 points with the drunken firmament as a reward. Thanks, console game buys 500 point reward. Thanks, 500 points reward for buried stars. Thanks, 500 points reward for water goldfish. Thanks, Shakyumunis 500 point reward. Blue Star, the Scarlet Flame Dynasty. Outside of Rongcheng, there is a mountain range filled with evil spirits. Occasionally, there are bursts of strange roars coming from the depths of the forest, which makes people horrified. Beyond the mountains, a group of teenage young heroes gathered here. At this moment, they were staring nervously at a heroic woman in front of them. This woman is tall and slender, wearing a bright yellow dress, blue silk like a waterfall, elegant and refined, with an extraordinary temperament. On her slender wrist, a delicate bracelet is flowing with a faint brilliance. The mysterious runes were intertwined in front of her, presenting an illusory light curtain. Above the light curtain, the relevant information of the people in front of them was listed. After the woman quickly counted the number of people, she closed the rune light curtain in front of her. She glanced at the people in front of her indifferently, and said, "This is Masha Ridge. I think you all have heard of it." "That's right, this is the venue for your next game." As soon as these words came out, the expressions of the boys and girls in front of her changed. Obviously, everyone knows how terrifying this Masha mountain is. However, they were already mentally prepared, but they had no intention of backing down. In the crowd, there was only a teenager in casual sportswear, something special. His name is Liu Lin, and his current identity is a contestant in the Rongcheng Talisman contest. However, a few minutes ago, he was still an earthling. Originally, he was still reading novels in bed, but unexpectedly, he came through inexplicably. And the world he was in at this time was the world of novels he had read before. This is a world that is very similar to the Earth. It also has mobile phones, computers, and cars. However, their essence is different from what Liu Lin knew. Because, what this world develops is not technology, but rune civilization, and these things are also rune creations. In addition, there are many things in this world that are not found on Earth. For example, the light curtain used by the woman just now is an application of the consciousness talisman web. Another example is that many people around Liu Lin have runes on their robes, which can adjust the temperature to a certain extent. Therefore, some people are wearing thick trench coats, and some people are wearing short-sleeved t-shirts and denim shorts. After understanding his own situation, Liu Lin couldn't help but complain to himself, "Is it so easy to travel through now?" He knew that reading novels was so dangerous, but he didn't read them. What's even more terrifying is that he suddenly realized that the time he was traveling through now was a bit embarrassing. Selection of the Talisman Master Competition. According to his memory, a big event is going to happen next, and if you are not careful, you will have to die. The other contestants around are all competitors in this competition. One by one, in order to break through, they would even kill other players. And this competition venue, Masha Ridge, itself is full of dangers, and there are many evil monsters in it, ready to eat people at any time. What's more, during the game, the villain played a trick in order to kill the hero. Not only did the monsters riot, but also the killer started killing. I don't know how many dragon rolls have been killed. However, his current identity, Liu Lin, is clearly a cannon fodder whose name has never been mentioned in the novel. This is the beginning of hell. Thinking of this, Liu Lin wanted to run immediately. And right next to him, another boy caught a glimpse of his changing face and couldn't help but be a little puzzled. He patted Lu Lin on the shoulder and asked in a low voice, "Lu Lin, aren't you? Are you so timid? Are you frightened by this Masha mountain?" As soon as these words came out, several people nearby cast their eyes on Lu Lin. In fact, they were also a little nervous, but they kept pretending to be calm. Seeing Lu Lin behaving so badly, they couldn't help but laugh. It seems that this will make them feel that they are stronger than Lu Lin. Lu Lin's eyes swept over them one by one, but he recognized several of them. Zhang Bin, Chu Shudao, Fang Ji. It's all tricks that he didn't see at all when he read novels. If these people really enter the Masha mountain, they are basically going to die. He didn't want to die with them. So, Lu Lin ignored them and immediately wanted to raise his hand. He wanted to ask the tall slender lady in front who was explaining the rules of the competition to them, if he could retire from the competition. But at this moment brush. Without warning, an illusory light curtain appeared in front of him. Above the light curtain, a series of information is listed. Name, Chu Qingxiu age, 23 years old cultivation, Moon Shadow Realm 9th layer exercise, 3 disasters and 9 refinements talents, space element, superior, Rundeo, superior, fire element, superior, bloodline, nun skills, Jinghong finger, Dachan, Xianya bodyguard, Dachan, Linjian cloud trail, Dachan, purple phoenix alchemy, Dachan. Lu Lin's pupils shrank slightly. This is Chu Qingxiu's attribute panel? But how did it come about? He remembered that he didn't seem to have such a thing as a consciousness ring on his body. Moreover, even if he had a conscious ring, he wouldn't be able to find out the relevant information about Chu Qingxiu somehow. At this moment, information suddenly appeared in his mind. After Lu Lin quickly digested it, his heartbeat started to speed up. Turns out, this is his system. Only he can see this attribute interface. And in the information he got just now, he also introduced the function of this system. This system is called the God-level download system. It has a powerful download function, which can download the skills, exercises, talents, and blood of other people within a certain range around the host's body for the host's use. Lu Lin just stared at Chu Qingxiu for too long, which triggered the system's automatic analysis. Therefore, he saw Chu Qingxiu's attribute information. The information listed above is the most valuable information on Chu Qingxiu. After realizing all of this, the apprehension and anxiety that Lu Lin had just crossed over was instantly swept away. Instead, it is calm and calm. With this system, he just needs to find a strong person and download everything on them. You can quickly become a strong man. He turned his attention to Chu Qingxiu's attribute panel again. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. This is not just an ordinary beauty. Lu Lin, who has read the novel, knows that this person is the deputy city lord of Rongcheng. In addition, she has a hidden identity, that is, the eldest young lady of the Chu family, the top family of the Xian dynasty. At the same time, she is also one of the heroines in the original plot. It was for some special reason that I came to a small place like Rongcheng. Her strength is naturally not weak, and her talent is also very amazing. The cultivation realm in this world is divided into Star Spirit Realm, Moon Shadow Realm, Blazing Sun Realm, Yuanji Realm. Each level of realm is divided into 9 small realms. Chu Qingxiu was only in her early 20s, and she had reached the 9th level of the Moon Shadow Realm. Not to mention that in a small place like Rongcheng, even in the capital of the Scarlet Flame dynasty, Chu Qingxiu was considered a top-notch genius. One of her talents, she actually possesses 2 superb talents, which is enough to explain everything. Among them, the cultivation talent of the space system is extremely rare, and the talent of the rune is the foundation of this world, and it is also extremely important. And according to Lu Lin's knowledge, Chu Qingxiu's cultivation technique is not simple, it is an ancient technique. This practice is esoteric and unpredictable, and the threshold for cultivation is extremely high and difficult, but once the practice is successful, the power is far beyond ordinary practice. Looking at her skill column, it is also a well-known advanced skill in the novel. Not only did she learn it, but she even reached the Dachan level of cultivation. In addition to being amazed in his heart, Liu Xian also secretly rejoiced. Because, whether it is Chu Qingxiu's talents, exercises, or skills, they are all the goals he can download next. Liu Lin fell into deep thought. What should he download first? According to the system information just obtained, the God-level download system can add up to 3 download tasks at the same time. The number of tasks that can be downloaded from the same target each day, up to 3. Before the download task is completed, if you want to add a new task, you need to delete the original task. The task download time is related to the difficulty of the task. Difficulty is related to distance and the gap between oneself and the goal. The distance must be within 20 meters to download, the closer the speed is, the faster. And if the gap between the two sides is too large, the difficulty will be higher and the download time will be longer. Therefore, the choice of this download must naturally be carefully considered. Techniques, talents, bloodlines, skills. These projects, in terms of long-term effects, are undoubtedly more valuable in terms of talent and blood. After all, if the talent is improved, even if you don't use the download, you can learn the exercises and skills yourself, and the efficiency will be much higher. But skills and exercises also have advantages, that is, they can be learned and used now. When it was difficult to decide for a while, Liu Lin's heart moved. His eyes suddenly fixed on his palm. After a few seconds, his own personal attribute panel popped up in front of him. Name, Liu Lin, age, 18, cultivation, astral spirit realm 4th layer exercise, Qing Yuan Ju talents, wind, middle grade, rune, low grade, bloodline, nun skills, basic palm technique, Xiaocheng, basic shield, Xiaocheng, basic movement technique, Xiaocheng, basic alchemy, Xiaocheng. I don't know if I don't see it, I was startled when I saw it. Only then did Liu Lin know that his talent was so poor. What I have learned is actually some basic street stuff. Even the practice Qing Yuan Ju is a very common practice. Compared with Chu Qingxiu again, it's just unbearable to see myself. It's no wonder that in the original plot, there was no mention of a person like me at all. If he hadn't activated the system, if he entered the Masha Ridge in front of him now, I'm afraid he wouldn't be able to get out. However, with the system, it will be different. As long as he uses it properly, this trip to Masha Mountain can actually become a huge opportunity for him. Besides, he suddenly realized that he needed something now. Exercise. He urgently needs a powerful exercise technique, so that he can exert a stronger strength with the same cultivation level. Otherwise, it will not be easy to survive in the next competition, not to mention finding a chance to download other things. Therefore, he directly selected Chu Qingxiu's exercise method 3 disasters and 9 refinements. In an instant, a pop-up window appeared, start the download? Whether Liu Lin chose yes. In an instant, a download interface popped up in front of him, and a download task appeared on it. Task 1, Exercise 3 Disasters and 9 Refinements. Download progress, 0.01%. After a while, the progress has not changed, that is, it remains at 0.01%. Then, a small line appeared, remaining, about 5 days. 5 days. This competition only lasted for 3 days. If you continue to download at this speed, you won't be able to finish downloading even after the game is over. What's more, once Chu Qingxiu left within 20 meters of him, the download would be automatically terminated. However, Liu Lin didn't panic at all. Because, this system also has a special benefit, that is, you can use a second pass every 3 days. Of course, the second pass is not free, and requires the consumption of spirit stones. The specific consumption is related to the difficulty of the task. However, Liu Lin has just activated the system now, and he has a chance to experience it in seconds. At this point, a prompt has popped up on the download interface: "Do you want to use instant upload?" Liu Lin decisively clicked to confirm. In an instant, he saw that on the download interface, the download progress, which was originally motionless, finished in 1 second, and reached 100%. Download completed. The moment the system prompt sounded, a large amount of information suddenly appeared in Liu Lin's mind. It was exactly the content of the exercise 3 disasters and 9 refinements, and it also included all of Chu Qingxiu's cultivation experience. In just a few breaths, Liu Lin had completely digested this information. 3 disasters and 9 refinements originally had a very high threshold for entry, and was also very demanding on talent. But at this time, Liu Linming's talent is still very poor, and he can't even understand the original text of the exercise, but he ignored its cultivation threshold and learned it. He felt that it was as if he had cultivated this technique since he was a child. This feeling is just one word: cool. At the same time, he also changed. His breath suddenly vibrated, and he suddenly attracted the attention of everyone around him. Immediately, the few people around who were laughing at him for being timid just now were all stunned for a moment. "I'll go. This fellow Liu Lin, is this a breakthrough in his cultivation? How did he break through at this time? Hey, can he break through even in a place like this? I'm so nervous, why did he break through here? Breakthrough for no reason, is there something tricky about this guy?" Among them, many of them are also at the 4th level of the astral spirit realm. At this time, seeing Liu Lin's sudden breakthrough, his strength surpassed them all at once. It was a little unacceptable for a while. There were also people looking at Liu Lin with a look of surprise. In front of the crowd, on the high platform, Chu Qingxiu, who was talking about the rules of the next game, swept her gaze towards Liu Lin at once. On her delicate face, she was originally very calm, but at this moment she suddenly showed a look of surprise. With her knowledge, even if she sees someone breaking through on the spot, she won't have such an emotion. What really surprised her was that she found that the boy who suddenly broke through had an aura very similar to hers. That is, the ancient exercises she practiced, the breath of 3 disasters and 9 refinements. In this place in Rongcheng, there are people who practice ancient exercises. Moreover, so coincidentally, like her, it is also 3 disasters and 9 refinements. This made her have to be surprised. She looked at Liu Lin with great interest, but she was in no hurry to let the contestants in. To hold such an event, it is naturally impossible for her to be the only one in charge. In the audience, there were other people from the Talisman Master Guild and the Rongcheng City Lord's Mansion. But, seeing that Chu Qingxiu didn't speak, they didn't say anything. So, everyone looked at Liu Lin's breakthrough on the spot. His strength went from the 4th level of the astral spirit realm to the 5th level of the astral spirit realm. After a while, Liu Lin's breath stabilized. When he opened his eyes contentedly, he saw everyone around him staring straight at him. He also didn't expect that he would get the attention of so many people by accident. Seeing that everyone was still staring at him, he could only show a polite smile, and said helplessly, "I'm sorry, I accidentally broke through without being careful," making everyone laugh. Careless. He didn't expect this ancient practice to be so powerful. But when his words fell in the ears of everyone around him, it was a little different. Everyone. God is so careless. God couldn't hold back and broke through. Damn. He was put on by him. Liu Lin didn't pay attention to them anymore, but felt his own changes and became familiar with the new power. Although the people around were a little speechless, their eyes did not stop at Liu Lin. After all, even if Liu Lin breaks through to the 5th level of the astral spirit realm, he is still at the bottom of these contestants. Among the contestants present, the 6th and 7th layers of the astral spirit realm are everywhere. There are even a few who have reached the 8th level of the astral spirit realm. In comparison, Liu Lin was really unremarkable. Moreover, because of his breakthrough just now, some high-strength contestants felt a little uncomfortable. Some people are thinking that after the game starts, if they encounter this Liu Lin, they will eliminate him first. Let him know what price he has to pay for acting indiscriminately. Those guys at the 6th and 7th levels of the astral spirit realm are still thinking of hitting this young man. On the high platform, Chu Qingxiu saw the expressions of these people clearly. In her bright eyes, a trace of playfulness passed by. I really don't know how high the sky is. The cultivation level achieved by practicing 3 disasters and 9 refinements is not that simple. She suddenly had some expectations. I wanted to see what those people who thought Liu Lin was a soft persimmon would look like when they turned around. Okay, I explained the rules of the game to you just now, so do you still have any questions? On the high platform, Chu Qingxiu's voice resounded in all directions again. Off stage, contestants, look at me, and I look at you. In the end, none of them spoke. As for Liu Lin, although he didn't listen carefully just now, having read the novel, he already understood the rules of this competition. To put it simply, it is to enter this mountain and survive for 3 days, while hunting monsters and searching for various valuable items. After the competition, the value of the items collected will be used as the judging criteria for the ranking. Therefore, Liu Lin naturally did not say a word. Seeing this, Chu Qingxiu spoke again and said, since you have no problem, then, next, you should hand over the space talisman temporarily. As soon as these words came out, Liu Lin saw that the faces of many contestants around him suddenly changed. Chu Shudao couldn't help but ask, why do you have to hand over the space talisman? Fang Ji also said, yes, after handing over the space talisman, how can we fight? Zhang Bin questioned, I remember the last trial, there was no such rule. To this, Chu Qingxiu just responded lightly, this is the new rule for this trial. If anyone thinks that after handing over the space talisman, they can't fight, then they can abandon the competition now. When the words fell, the contestants who were in a commotion all quieted down. Liu Lin was very interested and admired the expressions of the other contestants around him. Most of these guys are luxuriously dressed and look like they have a lot of family background. Previously, after they learned that the competition venue was at Masha Ridge, the reason why they were able to calm down was mostly related to their respective net worth. After all, how can someone with a wealth of wealth not have some high-level talismans and other self-defenses on their bodies? Even some people with relatively poor conditions, for this competition, they have invested all their money and made full preparations. However, obviously they did not expect that this time the game was played so hard. For the sake of fairness, Chu Qingxiu actually asked everyone to temporarily hand over the space talisman in order to select the true genius. This regulation was announced temporarily. Except for Liu Lin, who knew the plot, and a few people who knew the rules for a long time, everyone else was a little flustered. However, when Chu Qingxiu said that those who had opinions had to abandon the competition, they all dared not say a word. Just kidding, this game is related to their future. Whether you want to enter various universities, or want to enter the army, join a major force, or want to become the key training target of the Talisman's Guild. Let's see if they can pass the selection and emerge in the official competition. In a lifetime, this is one chance. How could they give up? However, these have nothing to do with Liu Lin. At this point, he ignored others, and had already started looking for the next download target again. It's just that there is one more powerful practice method, but it's not enough insurance for him. He originally wanted to continue to download some skills from Chu Qingxiu. However, he found that even if he had learned 3 disasters and 9 refinements, even if his cultivation level had improved to a level, the time required to download Chu Qingxiu's skills would only be slightly shorter than before, and he would still be at every turn. It will take several days. Now that the second pass opportunity has been used, he has to turn his attention to other people around him. Suddenly, his gaze stopped on a handsome young man in a thin t-shirt and slacks. The corner of his mouth twitched slightly. This guy should be Ling Xian, the protagonist of this world. After Liu Lin's gaze stopped for a few seconds on Ling Xian, the system automatically parsed out his relevant information. Name, Ling Xian. Age, 17. Cultivation, Astral Spirit Realm 6th Layer Exercise, Ling Xiao Secret Scroll Talents, Talisman, Superior Grade, Fire Type, Superior Grade, Wind Type, Top Grade, Thunder Type, Top Grade, Bloodline, Body of Flame Spirit Skills, Cloud Tracking Footwork, Dacheng, Sword Slaying, Xiaocheng, Spirit Armor, Xiaocheng, Ling's Talisman, Xiaocheng. Liu Lin clicked his tongue secretly. This talent! It's simply outrageous. As expected of the Son of Luck. In particular, the talent of Fu Dao has actually reached a peerless level, even higher than Chu Qingxiu. However, after the shock, the curvature of Liu Lin's mouth became more obvious. This Ling Xian is really a big treasure. Not to mention the talent and bloodline, it is the Ling's talisman refinement among the skills, which is extremely valuable. After all, the person who created this talisman technique is a master-level talisman master. Speaking of Ling Xian's other skills, although the rank is not as good as Yan Qingxiu's, it is much better than Liu Lin. Liu Lin's skills were all basic, and their grades were first level at best. And Ling Xian, as far as he knows, every one of them is level 4. Seeing so many things that can be downloaded, Liu Lin didn't know how to choose for a while. After all, he could only download at most 3 things from Ling Xian a day. After thinking for a while, Liu Lin selected 3 skills: Spirit Slaying Saber Technique, Spirit Armor Protection, and Cloud Track Footwork on Ling Xian's attribute panel. He felt that he still had to improve his ability to survive first. So, I chose several skills in combat. As for the others, we will think of ways later. Start download. 3 download progress bars appeared in front of Liu Lin at the same time. Liu Lin took a look and found that the download time basically took half a day, so he was relieved. For half a day, he figured out a way to follow Ling Xian, and it probably wasn't a big problem. He did not look, and waited silently. On the high platform, Chu Qingxiu stood slim, her eyes were calm, and she glanced at everyone. Naturally, she also noticed Liu Lin's performance, and for a while she became more curious. She was not surprised that some children from big families who were present knew some rumors in advance and were mentally prepared. But Liu Lin was obviously from an ordinary background, but she was still so calm, which made her a little surprised. However, Chu Qingxiu then felt that there was no need to make a fuss. After all, Liu Lin is practicing the same ancient practice as she does. Even if his family background is average, there must be other opportunities. Otherwise, there is no way to explain how he obtained the 3 disasters and 9 refinements. Of course, these Chu Qingxiu did not want to explore at this time. She just looked at the contestants present, spoke calmly again, and said, "The reason for temporarily taking away your space talisman is for the sake of fairness. In addition, it is also to test your true abilities. After all, if you really fight on the battlefield, who can guarantee that you will have sufficient equipment for you to use at any time? Want a talisman? Don't you guys use materials on the battlefield and make your own? We are going to select a talented talisman master, not a rich second generation. If you are not sure of surviving in this Masha Ridge, give up the game as soon as possible, and don't go in and be embarrassed." Everyone looked at each other, all speechless. In the end, everyone handed over their space talismans, leaving only the pens and other tools necessary to make talismans. Liu Lin is no exception. Anyway, there is nothing special in his space talisman. In the current situation, the things prepared by other people can't be used, which is a good thing for him. Since you are all ready, the trials will begin. Chu Kingxiu said again, you all have a talisman master badge on your body. If you want to give up the game, you can also use it to call for help, and we will naturally send you out through the talisman formation. These words made everyone's tense nerves relax a little. Okay, let's come in. Chu Kingxiu waved her hand casually. Moment OM. On the talisman formation covering the entire Masha Ridge, gaps opened up. Several contestants immediately took action, rushing into the Masha mountain from different directions. The others were not far behind, and immediately acted as well. However, before entering the arena, some people couldn't help but get together and want to join hands. Chu Kingxiu didn't pay attention to this. Obviously, the rules of the competition allowed it. Even Liu Lin, someone came over to win him over and asked if he would form a team. Liu Lin glanced at it and sneered inwardly, these guys are ridiculous. You were still laughing at me for being timid just now. When you saw that my strength was temporarily improved, you came to pull me to form a team. How shameless! He categorically refused and said, sorry, your strength is too poor, I don't want to form a team with you. After speaking, he walked towards Ling Xian. On the spot, Chu Shudao, Fang Ji and others who were rejected by him were all angry. Some people even cursed, saying that if they meet Liu Lin later, they want to make Liu Lin look good. Liu Lin ignored them. These guys also want to trouble him? It is estimated that they will be eliminated by the first batch as soon as they enter the examination room. Liu Lin just stared at Ling Xian. Ling Xian walked unhurriedly towards a certain entrance. Liu Lin naturally followed him closely and chose the same entrance to enter Masha Ridge. When Chu Kingxiu on the high platform saw this scene, she felt a little surprised again, this young man, is it possible that he still knows Ling Xian? She specially came to a small place like Rongcheng from the imperial capital. In addition to having things to do, part of the reason was that she wanted to discover some geniuses. Ling Xian was a talented player she paid close attention to in this competition. She had thought before that she wanted to draw Ling Xian into her camp. Now there is another Liu Lin, which also caught her attention. Chu Kingxiu waved her hand gently. The rune bracelet on her hand glowed again, forming a light curtain in front of her. Above the light curtain, all kinds of relevant information about Liu Lin appeared. In the dark and cold mountain forest, Ling Xian used his movement skills and shuttled through the forest while looking at the surrounding environment. At this moment, suddenly brother Ling Xian, wait! Ling Xian looked back suddenly, and saw a contestant in a blue robe running towards him. Ling Xian couldn't help but be taken aback. Because he recognized that this person was clearly the contestant who had temporarily broken through before coming in outside. However, he didn't know this person either. How could the other party come to him? Ling Xian's thoughts turned around. His expression looked very calm, but his eyes were full of vigilance. No way, this place is already dangerous, not to mention that he has offended some people before. The other party will definitely do it to himself this time. So, he had to guard. Even if this person appeared at this time, he was only at the 5th level of the astral spirit realm, he would not dare to despise him. Liu Lin guessed the other party's thoughts, but he pretended not to know. He just smiled and came 2 or 3 meters away from Ling Xian before he stopped and asked, Brother Ling Xian, my name is Liu Lin, are you interested in forming a team to act together? Ling Xian was a little surprised and asked, why did you think of forming a team with me? His current situation is not good. Because he offended a certain big family member before, and now he is being targeted by the other party. Everyone else avoided it for fear of being affected. He really did not expect that under such circumstances, someone would take the initiative to form a team with him. Not to mention, at this time they were already competing, and they were still competing with each other. Could it be that this person has some other conspiracy? What Ling Xian didn't know was that Liu Lin was actually checking the download panel at this time. After seeing that he was closer to Ling Xian, the download speed directly increased a lot. Liu Lin's mood immediately became more pleasant. At the current speed, the time it took for him to download the 3 skills on Ling Xian was shortened by a third. This bet is right. In fact, he originally planned to follow Ling Xian quietly and finish the task silently. However, he suddenly discovered that even if he exerted his footwork skills with all his strength, it would be difficult to keep up with Ling Xian. After all, other people's movement skills are of high quality, and in the original plot, Ling Xian is very proficient in movement skills. In desperation, Liu Lin could only stop Ling Xian, ready to change his strategy. He naturally noticed the alertness in Ling Xian's eyes, and understood it very well. It is also impossible for him to trust a stranger in this situation. However, he had already thought of a way to gain Ling Xian's trust. The easiest way, of course, is to use the fact that he knows the plot to start. So, Liu Lin said solemnly again, "Just now, I accidentally learned some news that may be useful to you." Ling Xian asked calmly, "What news?" Liu Lin deliberately looked around and said, "Are you sure you want to talk here?" When he asked this, Ling Xian couldn't help but glance around. This place is not far from the entrance. Although other people came in from other entrances, the distance between the entrances is actually very close. It's really not the right place to talk. After thinking for a while, Ling Xian said to Liu Lin, "Then let's change places." "Okay." Liu Lin readily agreed. In fact, it doesn't matter where he goes or what he says. Now he just wants to delay the time and let himself finish the download. So, he just used his movement skills without saying a word and followed Ling Xian. Of course, he knew that Ling Xian was very sensitive now. So, it is very interesting to keep a suitable distance from him, as long as the downloads are kept on. This made Ling Xian a little less wary of him. Ling Xian originally wanted to find a quiet place to communicate with Liu Lin. However, this Masha mountain is not a peaceful place. Not long after they walked, the two of them encountered a group of powerful monsters and quickly changed direction to escape. After walking for a while, they met some other contestants who were hunting monsters. Yu reading www.yuuganshu.com. Ling Xian also chose to avoid it. Liu Lin naturally chose to go wherever Ling Xian went. After walking for a while, they were suddenly attacked by a group of monsters. It was a group of middle-level star-level monsters that were as strong as cats and as hard as iron, the iron-skinned demon rats. There are dozens of them. Liu Lin noticed them appearing and immediately dodged. After all, the strength of these guys is not low. The strength of a single person is equivalent to the 4th level of the human race astral spirit realm. With all these added up, he could be in trouble if he is not careful. However, Ling Xian's choice was the opposite of Liu Lin's. He actually rushed directly into the group of rats. Liu Lin saw that he was like a phantom, coming and going freely among the dense group of rats. The mice attacked, and he couldn't even touch the corners of his clothes. Occasionally, he also finds an opportunity to take action and behead a certain iron-skinned devil rat. This is the Dachenglevel 4th level movement rune skill, Cloud Track Footwork. Liu Lin watched Ling Xian's performance with great interest, and he was even more looking forward to the movement skills that he was downloading. He didn't mean to make a move. He would only take action unless some iron-skinned demon rat had no eyes and ran over to attack him. Exactly, take a little more time now and let the system complete the download. By the time Ling Xian had killed these iron-skinned demon rats, more than half an hour had passed before he knew it. Liu Lin subconsciously glanced at the download panel. He was pleasantly surprised to find that he had a download progress, and he almost finished it. Task 1, Skill Cloud Track Footwork, Dachen Download Progress, 96.9%. Liu Lin was a little surprised. Because when I first downloaded it, the progress of the 3 skills was similar. In fact, the download speed of the movement and spell skills was slightly slower than the other two phases. However, the download speed of this movement technique is now inexplicably much faster. How is this going? Liu Lin carefully recalled what had just happened. Suddenly, he thought of something. That is, when Ling Xian was fighting just now, he used the cloud tracking footwork frequently. Could it be that during the download process, if the target frequently uses the corresponding skills, it can also speed up the download speed? Liu Lin was overjoyed. If this is the case, then what skills he wants to download in the future, he just needs to find a way to let the other party use it more, but the efficiency will be greatly increased. However, whether it is true or not, he still needs to study it carefully later. While Liu Lin was studying the function of the system, Ling Xian's voice suddenly came from his ear. Why don't you harvest the materials? Liu Lin came back to his senses and looked at him. He found that he was harvesting a group of iron-skinned devil rats that he had just killed. On monsters, there are many things that are suitable for refining talismans. For example, the fur on these iron-skinned mice is a relatively valuable material. These are exactly what they need right now, and they are also the criteria for grading the game. Liu Lin smiled at him and said, most of these monsters were hunted and killed by you, I dare not touch your things. Ling Xian smiled and said, I can't harvest that much myself. If you need it, don't be polite. How did he know that Liu Lin didn't care about any monster materials at all, and now he was thinking about downloading skills? As long as the strength is strong, are you afraid that there will be no monster materials? However, since Ling Xian said so, in order not to cause misunderstanding, Liu Lin still responded, thank you so much. After speaking, he also started to harvest the materials from the iron-skin devil mouse. Ling Xian glanced at Liu Lin. As he continued to work, he asked casually, by the way, what did you want to tell me just now? Is it convenient to talk about it now? Liu Lin smiled lightly, thinking to himself, you can't help but start asking. Immediately, he wanted to say something casual to fool Ling Xian. But at this moment whoosh! A huge monster suddenly appeared. It was a huge devil python more than 10 meters long and covered in red. It was full of suffocating energy, with a sharp single horn on its head, and suddenly flew out of the forest behind Liu Lin, as fast as lightning. Star-level high-level monster, the one-horned blood python. When Ling Xian saw what it looked like, it had already opened its mouth and bit Liu Lin. Careful! Ling Xian subconsciously shouted. In the next instant, his pupils contracted violently. Because, when he bit the one-horned blood python, Liu Lin's figure suddenly disappeared. Immediately, Liu Lin appeared a few meters away from his original location. This is the cloud trace footwork. Ling Xian looked in disbelief. It's not that he can't accept that others have the same skills as him. What really made him a little unacceptable was that Liu Lin's Yunzong footwork level seemed to be no inferior to him. You must know that he was in a special place and got the chance, and only after a lot of hard work did he reach this level. Could it be that Liu Lin has also been to that place? Just as Ling Xian was shocked, the one-horned blood python seemed to be provoked, and suddenly attacked Liu Lin again. The attack speed was 3 points faster than before. However, Liu Lin just dodged again and avoided the attack again. Ling Xian watched from the side and suddenly felt that his judgment just now was a little off. This Liu Lin's speed should be a little faster than him. Relying on his tyrannical movement technique, Liu Lin actually avoided the attacks of the one-horned blood python again and again, and dealt with it. Incredible! Ling Xian himself has cultivated this footwork to this level with his 6th level astral spirit realm cultivation, and has been shocked by many people. And this Liu Lin, just before entering Masha Ridge, was only a 4th level astral spirit realm. In this comparison, doesn't it mean that Liu Lin's talent is more terrifying than him? Ling Xian naturally wouldn't know that Liu Lin's footwork was just downloaded from him. Fortunately, the mission just happened to be completed, otherwise Liu Lin would not have been able to avoid the blow of the one-horned blood python. As for why it is slightly stronger than him, it is because after the download of this footwork rune skill is completed, it is directly integrated with the basic movement technique that Liu Lin originally mastered. Although the basic movement technique is just a commodity, it is still a rune skill no matter what. After the fusion of the two, the cloud track footwork naturally improved somewhat, but surpassed Ling Xian. And just when Ling Xian was surprised, he suddenly heard Liu Lin shouting to him, "Brother Ling Xian, don't patronize and watch. Come and help kill this guy." Ling Xian suddenly woke up. It was only then that he remembered that although Liu Lin's movement skills were very strong, his strength was only at the 5th level of the astral spirit realm. This one-horned blood python is of high star rank, and its strength is comparable to the 7th level of the human star spirit realm. It is simply not something that Liu Lin can deal with. If it was before, Liu Lin called him for help, he might have thought about it. However, after seeing that Liu Lin would also be able to perform cloud track footwork, Ling Xian had already regarded him as his own. Therefore, Ling Xian made a decisive move. Talisman, Spirit Slaying Sword Technique. I saw Ling Xian's figure rushing forward, reading www.youkansha.com's two-handed talisman was printed, and a dazzling knife light suddenly erupted. Go straight to the 7-inch point of the one-horned blood python. Boom! The one-horned blood python sensed the danger and twisted abruptly to avoid Ling Xian's attack. However, it still had a lot of scales broken by that sword light. It roared, turned its head and rushed towards Ling Xian. Liu Lin temporarily got a chance to breathe, and decisively glanced at the download progress. There was a hint of joy in his eyes. It was exactly as I expected. The download speed of another download task, level 4 rune skill, Spirit Slaying Saber Technique, suddenly increased dramatically. His inference just now was correct. On the other hand, after Ling Xian became the main target of the one-horned blood python, he did not lose his temper. With his cloud track footwork, combined with Spirit Slaying Saber Technique and spiritual armor and body protection, he used 2 rune techniques, 1 attack and 1 defense, but he was evenly matched against the one-horned blood python. However, due to the lack of talisman support, his swordsmanship and talisman skills could not exert the greatest power, and it was difficult to kill the one-horned blood python in a short period of time. When he saw that Liu Lin was watching from the side, he was even more speechless. Ling Xian hurriedly shouted, "Liu Lin, why are you standing still? Let's do it together." "Okay." Liu Lin, who had just been immersed in the pleasure of high-speed download and forgot about the battle for a while, came back to his senses and rushed into the battle circle again. Anyway, Ling Xian was in this predicament just to save him. What's more, he still has 2 download tasks to complete, so he can't let Ling Xian die like this. Liu Lin's figure quickly rushed to the vicinity of Ling Xian, and also fought against the one-horned blood python. He didn't rush too close, but surrounded the one-horned blood python at the edge of the battle circle, not in a hurry to attack. It wasn't until Ling Xian accidentally revealed his flaws and fell into danger that he suddenly shot. I saw him hit with a palm, and the talisman light surged, instantly turning into a palm, hitting the one-horned blood python. Bang! A soft sound came. The one-horned blood python that was pounced on Ling Xian was taken aback. Ling Xian immediately took the opportunity to distance himself from it. He secretly breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that the one-horned blood python would turn around and attack Liu Lin, giving him a chance to breathe. However, he immediately discovered that the one-horned blood python just glanced at Liu Lin, and then continued to hunt him down. Ling Xian! What the is this? Why is this guy staring at me? While scrambling to dodge the movement skills again, Ling Xian also observed it carefully. Soon, he noticed that the position on the one-horned blood python just attacked by Liu Lin didn't even drop a single scale. Ling Xian! Dare Liu Lin didn't do any harm to this guy just now, so he ignored him. When he was unable to complain in his heart, Ling Xian's dodging footwork was a little chaotic, and he was immediately bullied and approached by the one-horned blood python. Oops! Ling Xian's face changed. But just when he thought he was in trouble, bang! Another soft sound came from the one-horned blood python. Liu Lin patted the one-horned blood python again, interrupting its movement again. Ling Xian once again narrowly escaped under Shekao. But he found that Liu Lin's attack still did not leave any scars on the one-horned blood python. By this time, he had figured it out. Liu Lin's attack, at most, only has the power of a second-level attack rune skill. As a result, after the one-horned blood python glared at Liu Lin, he continued to chase and kill Ling Xian. Ling Xian was a little annoyed, and while running away again, he couldn't help shouting to Liu Lin, "What the are you doing?" Liu Lin looked calm and said, "Don't worry about me for now. My situation is special and I can only use this rune skill for the time being, so I can only rely on you to kill this guy. I can help you contain him at best." As he said that, he slapped it with another palm to make a clearance for Ling Xian again. Liu Lin wasn't trying to shirk, or he was being lazy. Instead, he hadn't finished downloading Ling Xian's attacking rune skills. At this time, the attacking rune skill he could use was naturally the basic palm technique. To be able to use this basic rune skill to bring out the power of the second-level attack rune skill, it is still possible to use the 3 disasters and 9 refinements he downloaded from Chu Qingxiu, the effect after the amplification. Of course, he also said that this is only temporary. Ling Xian naturally didn't know this. But he didn't see that Liu Lin was lying, so he couldn't help but guess secretly. Could it be, what kind of injury did Liu Lin cause because he forced a breakthrough before entering the arena, which affected his current performance? Thinking about it this way, it seems reasonable. However, now is not the time to think about it. After Ling Xian was sure that he could only rely on himself, he concentrated on fighting with the one-horned blood python. As soon as he got serious, the situation of the battle suddenly changed. Originally, there was not much difference between him and this one-horned blood python. At this time, he got used to the fighting rhythm a little bit, and with Liu Lin by his side from time to time to help restrain him, he began to turn passive into active. So, Liu Lin saw the situation he was most looking forward to. Zhang! A blade of light like a flame pierced through the air. Immediately after that, there was a second sword light. Ling Xian used the Slayer sword technique one after another, and a knife was as fast as a knife. What he thought in his mind was that since the talisman skill was not powerful enough to seriously injure the one-horned blood python with one knife, then he would slash a few more knives. As long as his attack speed is fast enough, aiming at the same place to attack, it will always work. Not to mention, under his strategy, the one-horned blood python suddenly fell into a disadvantage. Soon, a lot of scars appeared on its body, terrifying. This one-horned blood python felt that the situation was not good, and even wanted to escape. But, how could Liu Lin let it escape? At this time, because of Ling Xian's outbreak, the download progress of Slayer Sword Art he is downloading is increasing rapidly. So, Liu Lin suddenly appeared in front of the one-horned blood python, raised his hand and slapped it with the palm of his hand. Bang! The one-horned blood python quickly retracted its head. Although Liu Lin's attacking rune skill is not powerful, it is basically enough to block this one-horned blood python with his movement skills. Therefore, Liu Lin successfully blocked the one-horned blood python again and again. Seeing that Liu Lin worked so hard, Ling Xian felt a little more favorable towards him in his heart. After all, in his opinion, Liu Lin is now injured and fighting forcibly. It's so righteous. Then, Ling Xian also worked harder. Because, he felt that Liu Lin might not be able to last long. The two have a clear division of labor, one is in charge of blocking and the other is in charge of crazy attacks. In the blink of an eye, the one-horned blood python, who was stronger than the two of them, was already seriously injured. Seeing that it was about to be beheaded, Ling Xian couldn't help showing a look of joy on his face. This is a high-level star monster. On its body, there are many materials suitable for refining talismans. For example, that single horn is a good material for refining weapons. In addition, reading www.yuyuganshu.com fangs can also be used to make weapons, and snake skins can be used to make armor. As long as you kill it, you will have weapons and armor. In the next game, he and Liu Lin will have a big advantage. But just when Ling Xian started to think about how to refine these materials to make the best use of them, an accident happened. Hush! The seriously injured one-horned blood python suddenly increased in speed and fled in one direction. Liu Lin immediately rushed in front of it and wanted to stop it just like before. However, this time, the one-horned blood python actually ignored Liu Lin's attack, not only did not stop, but continued to accelerate towards him. The mouth opened suddenly. It is clearly preparing to resist Liu Lin's attack, but also to rush out of the siege. Under this circumstance, if Liu Lin doesn't give up blocking and dodges immediately, he will most likely be swallowed by it. Go back quickly! Ling Xian's expression changed, and he immediately shouted to Liu Lin. At the same time, he also suddenly burst into flames, heading straight for the one-horned blood python and slashed away. With this blow, he burst out the rest of his full strength. He felt that if he was lucky, even if Liu Lin backed away, the one-horned blood python would still have a chance to stay with this blow. No matter how bad it is, he can force the one-horned blood python to give up and continue to attack Liu Lin. To his astonishment, at the moment when his blade of flame burst out, another blade burst out almost at the same time. This sword light looked somewhat similar to his attack. However, the power attached to this knife is not a flame, but a gust of wind. Moreover, the power of this knife is even stronger than what he burst out. Boom! The two beams of blade light fell on the head of the one-horned blood python almost simultaneously. Ling Xian's flaming knife light stood on top of the snake's head from behind. And that gust of wind sword light slashed horizontally from the front into the opened mouth of the one-horned blood python. The two just cross into a cross. Sopft! The huge snake head was instantly chopped up and turned into 4 pieces, like a flower blooming. The huge snake drive suddenly twitched and twisted, but soon it crashed to the ground and stopped moving. Died. Ling Xian looked at the corpse of the one-horned blood python with a stunned expression. He didn't feel any surprise that he could behead this guy. However, he did not expect that the one-horned blood python would be killed in this way. He raised his head and looked at Liu Lin. Because that other sword light just burst out from Liu Lin. Ling Xian asked, "What you just used, is the spirit-slaying saber?" Although, the power attribute that burst out just now is different from his. However, he can confirm that it is the same sword and rune skills as him. Liu Lin didn't hide it either, and nodded directly. He even asked back, "Is there any problem?" Ling Xian originally wanted to ask Liu Lin how he could use this talisman skill, but after being asked by Liu Lin, he couldn't open his mouth. After all, this spirit-cutting saber technique is not a unique secret skill, and even if you have money, you can buy it online on the Consciousness Talisman. He can learn, and Liu Lin can also learn. He could only change his mind and ask, "Then why didn't you use it until now?" "Of course it's for a surprise victory." Liu Lin smiled slightly, pointed to the corpse of the one-horned blood python under his feet, and said, "If I use it from the beginning, maybe this guy will just run away." Ling Xian had nothing to say at this moment, just a little depressed. After all, he had always thought just now that Liu Lin was injured by forcibly breaking through before, so he couldn't do his best, but he still insisted on containing the monsters for him. He also felt a little moved by this. "In the end, did you think too much? Also, because of my special skills, although I can release some runes with stronger power, it takes a certain amount of time to prepare. Lin said again, such an outbreak would also consume a lot of my rune power, that's why I've been waiting for an opportunity. In fact, his words are not deceitful. Because 3 disasters and 9 refinements does have a characteristic, it can forcibly enhance the power of rune skills. The price is just like what he said, it needs to consume a lot of rune. Moreover, he had indeed downloaded Spirit Slaying Saber technique a long time ago, and had been waiting for a chance to win by surprise. The only difference is that this forced promotion does not require as long as he said to prepare. Ling Xian also sensed that after Lin released the blow just now, his breath did drop a lot. Therefore, he believed what Lin said. For a while, he felt much better in his heart. After all, he is only 17 now, so he is somewhat proud. He believes that his talent and understanding are the top among his peers. But Lin Mingming's cultivation base is lower than him, and the power of the same talisman skill is actually stronger than him. This was really hard for him to accept. Now that Lin explained it like this, he felt it was understandable. Immediately, Ling Xian couldn't help blushing. Because, he realized that Lin clearly saw that he was uncomfortable, so he made a special explanation. This made him feel a little ashamed for his little emotion just now. What Ling Xian didn't know was that Lin said this simply because he didn't want to alienate him because he pretended to be coercive unintentionally. After all, Lin's system is still running, downloading another skill on Ling Xian's body, Spirit Armor. Lin, who had already tasted the sweetness, didn't want Ling Xian to part ways with him because he felt unhappy, which would result in the download of his quests being incomplete. Ling Xian glanced around and said, "It's not suitable to stay here for a long time, let's hurry up and harvest the materials on this guy first, and then change the place." Lin also nodded. Their battle just now lasted for a long time, and the movement was not small. It is estimated that it has already attracted the attention of other people nearby, or other monsters. And the two of them fought each other, and both of them were at a loss. Continue to stay here, if there is any more danger, it will be difficult to deal with. Lin didn't forget that among the people who participated in the competition this time, there are still people who are trying to kill Ling Xian while they are now. He wanted to follow Ling Xian for the time being, he just wanted to download, but he didn't want to suffer. Therefore, Lin and Ling Xian immediately harvested the spoils. However, when they finished harvesting and were about to move their positions, Lin suddenly remembered something. He stopped Ling Xian and said, "We may be able to lurk around for a while." Ling Xian was a little puzzled. Lin didn't explain anything, just looked at the 2 huge snake pupils he had just obtained from the one-horned blood python. He said to Ling Xian, "Come with me. Let's deal with these 2 things first." Ling Xian didn't know what he was going to do, but he followed him and walked to a nearby corner. Not long after they left, 3 men in tight black suits and masks appeared on the spot. The 3 men in black carefully probed the surrounding situation and analyzed something. "I'll go back and report to young Master Chen." Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com seems to have found the trace of Ling Xian. "You guys continue to search nearby." "Yes." And not long after they left, some contestants came to the neighborhood. After a brief exploration, they also left. What these people didn't know was that Lin and Ling Xian didn't actually go far. Even, they were hiding 100 meters away, and they could see everything that happened just now. And the reason why they were not found was because Lin believed that with their current state, they couldn't run too far if they wanted to. In addition, he suddenly thought of a certain detail in the original plot, so he had an idea and asked Ling Xian to set up a psychedelic talisman to hide their figures and auras. The materials used in this psychedelic rune array are the 2 eyes of the one-horned blood python that they just killed. At this time, within the psychedelic talisman formation, Lin and Ling Xian were both sitting cross-legged. Ling Xian's face was a little ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, "That Chen Zhang, I thought he would just bribe some players to deal with me. Unexpectedly, he even hired a professional killer. Seeing him like this, Liu Lin secretly said in his heart, that's it. Seeing this, he should have completely gained Ling Xian's trust. Sure enough, after Ling Xian got angry, he quickly calmed down. Then, Ling Xian looked at Liu Lin and said solemnly, Liu Lin, thank you for this time. If you hadn't reminded me, I might have been killed by someone inexplicably just now. Liu Lin said in his heart, you son of luck doesn't die so easily. What's more, I won't let you die so easily until I finish downloading the valuable things on you. In fact, Ling Xian, the son of luck, did not die so easily. Liu Lin remembered that in the original plot, Ling Xian himself also vigilantly avoided the search of the group of killers and escaped the catastrophe. The current situation has just changed to not being so embarrassed because he was mentioned by him. Of course, these Liu Lin naturally wouldn't say it. He just smiled lightly and said, you're welcome, I just don't like him, Chen Zhang, an outsider who bullies us, the weaker groups of civilians, because of his wealth and power. Ling Xian's heart warmed and he said very seriously, anyway, this time I owe you a favor. Liu Lin laughed and said, if you really want to thank me, don't owe me anything. Do me a favor now, how about you? Ling Xian asked curiously, what are you busy with? Liu Lin pointed to the ground in front of them, which was covered with a layer of crimson snake skin. On the snake skin were the materials collected from the iron-skinned devil rat and the one-horned blood python. He said, aren't we still participating in the trials? My talisman skills are average, I'm afraid I'll spoil these materials. I think you should also be preparing to make some talismans, why don't you help me along the way? Ling Xian glanced at Liu Lin's chest, where there was an exquisite talisman badge, but the level of the badge was only elementary. And Ling Xian himself is an intermediate-level talisman master, and he is even about to advance to a senior-level talisman master. Ling Xian smiled and said, I thought it was something, but it turned out to be such a trivial matter. It's all on me. Besides, I still owe you a favor. This kind of small service can't be worth the life-saving you have given me. Yep. This. Liu Lin hesitated for a while, then nodded and said, okay. If I have any trouble in the future, I'll ask you for help. No problem. Ling Xian nodded in satisfaction. Immediately, they started to pack up again, preparing to move to a place more suitable for refining talismans. Liu Lin cut open the snakeskin of the one-horned blood python, divided it into 2 parts, and packed it into 2 packages. Ling Xian moved the talisman, put away the 2 fist-sized eyeballs of the one-horned blood python, and dispersed the psychedelic talisman formation. It was also at this time that he suddenly remembered something and couldn't help but ask, Liu Lin, why did you think of the eyeballs of this one-horned blood python to arrange a psychedelic rune? This idea is really ingenious. Who can I think that the 2 eyes of the one-horned blood python can release such a powerful psychedelic effect with only a little processing? Of course Liu Lin wouldn't tell Ling Xian that this method was actually in the original plot, and he discovered it by himself. Liu Lin just said, this is also a coincidence. I have seen someone do this in a certain miscellaneous book before. I see. Ling Xian nodded, and immediately sighed, it seems that I have to read more miscellaneous books in the future, and maybe I can expand my thinking. Liu Lin didn't say anything more, just threw a snakeskin bag to him, then greeted him and left quickly. At the same time, Liu Lin also glanced at the download panel secretly, and found that the last mission, Spirit Armor, was about to be downloaded. Task 1, Skill Spirit Armor, Xiaochang download progress, 80.02%, remaining, 1 hour. This made Liu Lin start to think, should I continue to follow this Ling Xian, or should I go to other players first? According to the system introduction, you can only download up to 3 tasks a day for the same goal. If he wants to continue the download, he can only wait for the cooldown time of the task to end tomorrow. And now it's the next day, but there's still more than half a day to wait. At the same time, outside Masha Mountain, Chu Qingxiu just finished reading all of Lu Lin's information. The reason why she spent so much time is because she read not only the records of the Talisman Master Guild, but also what she just asked to investigate and collect. Originally, she thought that after reading these materials, she would have some understanding of this Lu Lin. But in fact, after reading it, she found herself at a loss. Because, according to the information she has collected, this Lu Lin doesn't have any brilliance at all. Completely just an ordinary boy. According to the information, Lu Lin never even left Rongcheng. Under such circumstances, how could Lu Lin obtain an ancient practice like 3 disasters and 9 refinements? Chu Qingxiu was perplexed. But also because of this, she became more interested in Lu Lin. This interest even surpassed Ling Xian, who she was following before. After all, it is true that this Lu Lin learned 3 disasters and 9 refinements, and his attainments seemed to be not low, but he did not show anything extraordinary. What made Chu Qingxiu curious the most was that Lu Lin had been hiding so well before. Why did he suddenly reveal it in a high profile just now? She obviously didn't think that Lu Lin was really careless. She felt that Lu Lin must have some special intention. Chu Qingxiu felt that the biggest possibility was that Lu Lin was deliberately attracting other people's attention to let everyone know that his cultivation was at the 5th level of the astral spirit realm. As a result, during the game, it is estimated that many people think he is easy to bully and go to trouble him. But that would actually be like giving him trophies. Interesting guy. The corner of Chu Qingxiu's mouth evoked a graceful arc. At this time, Lord Deputy City Lord, a city lord's mansion guard in uniform hurriedly came not far in front of her and gave her a salute. Chu Qingxiu closed the rune light curtain in front of her and asked plainly, "What happened?" The guard said in a deep voice, "There is a gap in the rune formation on the west side." Chu Qingxiu raised her eyebrows and said, "Didn't you ask you to check it out before the competition started?" The guard said, "Yes, we have indeed probed several times and confirmed that there is no problem. But now there is indeed a gap." Chu Qingxiu's face sank, and she said, "So, after the game started, did someone destroy the talisman formation and make this gap?" The guard nodded and said, "Yes. I'm worried that someone will sneak into the exam room, maybe it will pose a threat to the candidates." Chu Qingxiu's face also became a little ugly. Because, being able to destroy the rune array silently, the opponent's method is not ordinary. Such a thing happened in the game she was in charge of. The other party is clearly hitting her in the face. Immediately investigate and find out who did it. Chu Qingxiu said in a deep voice, "Also, come with 2 teams and enter the examination room with me to check the situation. I want to see, who would dare to cause trouble under my nose." Anyway, this is the competition she presides over. If it really wants people to cause trouble, she can't hang on her face. What's more, among these contestants, there are 2 geniuses that she values very much. "Yes." The guard responded immediately, took out a contact symbol, and started calling other police officers. Chu Qingxiu's figure moved, her skirt fluttered, and she flew towards the entrance of Masha Mountain. In the distance, one after another silhouettes flashed from afar and gathered behind her. When Chu Qingxiu stepped into the Masha Mountain, 2 10-person security teams had already gathered behind her. Chu Qingxiu took them and flew directly into the range of the talisman formation. "I want to see, who would dare to make trouble under my Chu Qingxiu's nose." The Masha Mountain has a wide range, with several mountain ranges connected one after another, and the mountain situation is also very complicated, and various monsters are dormant in it. After thinking for a while, Lu Lin finally chose to continue following Ling Xian, ready to pick some wool from him. Although it's a bit of a waste of time, in a place like Masha Mountain, it's not easy to find another sheep that can only be eaten. After walking around with Ling Xian, he found a cave. The previous battle had consumed them a lot, so they were going to take a break and recover. After a brief cleaning, they hid in the cave. The psychedelic array was also arranged by Ling Xian again to cover the entrance to the cave. In the cave, the two of them rearranged the materials they had just harvested. Among them, there are several new things, which are some ores, bones and the like. These were found on the road just now, because Ling Xian needed them. On the way here, the relationship between Ling Xian and Liu Lin became more and more familiar. Now, they call each other brothers and sisters. Liu Lin was 1 year older than Ling Xian, so Ling Xian naturally called him brother Liu. At this time, Ling Xian said to Liu Lin, "Brother Liu, I'll restore the talisman power first, and then start refining the talisman treasure. Please help me guard it first." Hearing this, Liu Lin's heart moved. He wanted to download Ling Xian's family tradition of talisman refining, and when Ling Xian refined the talisman, it was undoubtedly the most suitable time, and the download speed was also the fastest. But if Ling Xian starts to restore the talisman power now and starts refining the talisman in 2 hours at most, and the system's download cooldown has not yet passed, wouldn't he miss the best download opportunity? That's not possible. So, Liu Lin rolled his eyes and said, "Wait, do you want me to recover first?" Ling Xian was a little puzzled and said, "If I recover first, can't you recover as well when I refine the talisman? That will save some time." However, Liu Lin shook his head and said with a serious face, "This Masha Ridge is too dangerous. My cultivation base is not as good as yours, and the consumption just now is so great. I don't have the confidence to protect you in this state." After a slight pause, he continued, "Furthermore, when you are refining the talisman, it is best to have someone to guard it, otherwise if something interrupts it, wouldn't it be a waste of materials?" Brother Liu seems to make sense when he said so. Ling Xian thought about it, nodded and said, "Okay, then I will help you guard first. By the way, I will simply deal with these materials, and come up with a refining plan for the talisman. You recover first, and then help me later. Protect the law." "No problem." Liu Lin readily agreed. Then, Liu Lin immediately sat down with his knees crossed, started to run the exercises, breathed in and out, and regained his talisman. For a while, layers of mysterious floating light appeared on his body, as if countless runes were flickering. Ling Xian only glanced at it, and couldn't help being shocked. Sure enough, brother Liu is not ordinary. Although he couldn't see what kind of exercises Liu Lin was practicing, but looking at the performance of the exercises, he also knew that Liu Lin's exercises were definitely not simple. He didn't bother Liu Lin, and silently began to classify the materials they collected, while doing simple processing. Liu Lin opened his eyes slightly, and when he saw his condition, the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. Naturally, he didn't fully trust Ling Xian just now, so he seemed to be running the exercises to restore the rune power, but he was actually on guard. But now it seems that everything that happened before has indeed made Ling Xian completely believe him. He also felt relieved and focused on running 3 disasters and 9 refinements. This is also the first time he has focused on cultivation since time travel. Some curious, some excited. As a result, through this cultivation, he discovered that he had a very fatal problem. Talent is too bad. Even though he has now used the system to forcefully learn the 3 disasters and 9 refinements, the effect of training is only slightly better than the Qing Yuan Ju he practiced before. This is obviously not normal. In this way, he should improve his talent as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would be too uncomfortable to have powerful exercises and powerful skills, but not be able to exert their power. It's also because of his poor talent for cultivation and the fact that his exercises are too strong and profound, so that Liu Lin's breathing adjustment took a full 6 hours. For such a long time, not to mention that Ling Xian was greatly surprised, even Liu Lin himself was unexpected. When he finally recovered fully with great difficulty, he opened his eyes again. He cast an apologetic look at Ling Xian and said, I kept you waiting, Xiao Ling. Unexpectedly, Ling Xian looked at him with admiration and said, Brother Lu, you are really amazing. Lu Lin was a little surprised. Why did this guy suddenly praise him? Then, he heard Ling Xian say, your practice, I feel very profound when I look at it. Brother Lu, you can learn such a profound practice, which is really admirable. Brother Lu, you have practiced this practice. Fa, the cultivation base is only at the 5th level of the astral spirit realm, right? That's right. Lu Lin touched his nose. He can't always say that this is a practice that someone else learned, he just downloaded it from someone else. Lu Lin found that Ling Xian really admired him, and because he saw the extraordinariness of his practice, he didn't think there was anything wrong with him adjusting his breath for so long. After all, powerful exercises are a little more complicated and a little more troublesome to practice, isn't it normal? Anyway, such a misunderstanding is a good thing for him, so Lu Lin didn't explain anything. Immediately, Lu Lin was too embarrassed to continue procrastinating, and directly said to Ling Xian, it's your turn next, I'll help you guard. Okay. Ling Xian didn't say much, and immediately sat down with his knees crossed. Seeing that Ling Xian closed his eyes and adjusted his breath, ran the exercises, and began to breathe out and restore the magic power, Lu Lin moved in his heart and called up his attribute panel. At this point, there have been some changes. Name, Lu Lin Age, 18 Cultivation Base, 5 Layers of Astral Spirit Realm Exercise, 3 Disasters and 9 Refinements Talents, Wind, Middle Grade, Rune, Low Grade, Bloodline, Nun Skills, Cloud Tracking Footwork, Dachan, Slayer Sword Technique, Xiao Cheng, Spirit Armor and Body Protection, Xiao Cheng, Basic Palm Technique, Xiao Cheng, Basic Talisman, Xiao Cheng. Immediately, Lu Lin looked at his download panel again. It turned out that during his cultivation just now, the last download task had been completed. At this time, he also immediately discovered that there was a lot of information in his mind. Lu Lin was refreshed and immediately began to digest the relevant content of this rune skill. After a while, he had completely mastered this defensive rune technique. One more life guarantee. Taking a look at his attribute panel again, Lu Lin also had some thoughts on the task goal he was going to download next. Obviously, now his talent has become his shortcoming. When Lu Lin was fighting just now, he had already discovered a problem. That's because his own talent is too poor. Even if he downloads Chu Qingxiu's 3 Disasters and 9 Refinements with the help of the system, the effect he can exert will be greatly reduced. So, it's time to improve your cultivation talent. And Ling Xian has the talent for him to download.